Officially start our meeting. Commissioner Batchelor, would you lead us the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Thank you. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board, this morning, I'd like to add to the agenda by placing a motion on to appoint Gail Foley as our Executive Assistant, Department of Community and Economic Development, as our Clerk Pro Temp this morning. Do I have a motion to add that to the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. And now that putting on the resolution that the Board of County Commissioners hereby appoints Gail Foley, Executive Assistant, Department of Community and Economic Development, as Clerk Pro Temp for the regular session dated March the 3rd, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. We're moving to item B, which is approval of the regular session minutes of February 24th, 2021. Board, we have received these in advance, had an opportunity to review them, to ask for any deletions or corrections. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to move member comments up, and this is item H, before we do the consent agenda. With this morning?
So we have quite a few people. Do we have Julianne yet? No. All right, so let's start with Pam Haverkos, our EMA director, just to give you a brief update on the flooding that's occurring.
Pam, if you could just hold just a second. Madam President, if you would. Gail, thanks for filling in today and welcome to
No problem. It's
to
been
the
a long
Board
time.
of Clermont County Commissioners. We are so glad to have people that work here within this department that are capable of stepping up and in this particular case, allowing Holly the opportunity to do a little vacation in R&R. So
She looks like she's having fun.
she does.
Yes.
She does. So thank you so
No
much.
problem, sir.
All right. Pam, please go ahead.
Do we want?
Thank you for letting me join you today to talk about the potential impact from Ohio River flooding. I'm going to share my screen. I have some visuals. Can everyone see my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so we just wanted to give a brief update on where we're at with the Ohio River flooding. As most people should be aware, we have an Ohio River flood warning until March 7th around 1 a.m. It should expire. With the Ohio River rising to potentially 56 feet at our Cincinnati gauge, we're going to see some impacts to our transportation because our roadways are some of our roadways are going to be flooded. So it will affect the southern portion of our county along the Ohio River. So right now, we are projected to reach 56 feet on the Cincinnati gauge and 53.6 feet on our Meldal gauge. And it is expected to crest on March 4th at 56 feet at the Cincinnati gauge and on March 3rd at 53.6 feet at the Meldal gauge. As I said, the greatest impact will be to our roadways. So we are starting to see some of our roadways be closed as we get to that 54 foot mark. So we've already had the county engineer and the Ohio Department of Transportation and our local municipalities have had to shut down some of our roadways. So this is a list of the roadways we anticipate to be flooded as we start to reach that 54 foot mark. And if we do make it to that 56 foot mark, we will see some additional roadways be closed. And so this kind of gives you an idea of what roadways will start to be closed. So one of the things that we want to educate the public on is that as we close roadways, please find alternate routes around those roadways. Please do not drive around road closure signs. Please do not drive through road closure signs, because there's no way to be sure that the road has not been affected by that water. And it doesn't take that much water to knock down a person, and it doesn't take that much water to damage a vehicle or even take a vehicle to affect a vehicle. And it's very important that we communicate that to our community so that we're not causing additional impacts to our public safety community, and that they have to actually respond to support those individuals. So that's really where we're at. We have sent out to all of our partners our flood annex just to review it. At this point in time, our greatest impact comes when the Ohio River reaches above 58 feet. And at that point, we would have a much greater impact, and we would have a much greater response. So if we anticipate that we are going to reach that 58 foot mark, we will start scheduling meetings with all of our public safety partners to review our game plan on how we respond to an Ohio River flood and determine the next steps on how we would activate an emergency operations center in the field closer to the Ohio River with all of our partners. So that's where we're at today.
Thank you very much.
You guys have any questions for me? And I'll stop sharing my screen.
Hey Pam, just a question to put out there. Obviously, since the last time that we have managed an episode like this, there have been a lot of people move into the area. I happened to see some questions today on social media, and one of those questions came from down in the New Richmond area, obviously close proximity to the river. And the person asked, I moved here just recently. How do I know in the place where I live where this particular dwelling might be impacted? And if I remember right, the Village of New Richmond has a chart or information listed on their site that tells each address and what the impact to that particular structure is as far as footage of water. Is that something you could comment on?
Yeah, I believe that information is on the Village of New Richmond's website, but I can also, if you want to send me their contact information, I can follow up with them and I can give them exact information. Granted, every flood is a bit different, but we do have historical information on which structures flood. And I believe our first structure would be affected around the 57.8, 57.9 feet. But I can look up that historical information. As I said, in the Village of Richmond, what we're really going to see up to that 58 foot is that we have roadways that become inaccessible, where we'll have a few streets that residents would not be able to access their house. Their structure itself should not be affected, but it is getting in and out of their structure. And that's where 58 feet becomes a critical juncture where we have to make some difficult decisions about how we move forward.
It might be nice, and just a suggestion, if, we had something out there for a contact, on our social media site that just said, if you have questions about your dwelling or roadway closures, you can call here or click here and, get that information pretty quickly. Is that something that we could do?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. And then also too, on the county GIS public facing site, you can go and see all of the road closures as they are closed in real time. So the county engineer's office updates that information, and we'll add road closures markings on the GIS page, as well as then as roads reopen, it'll come off that site.
To all those that live in the area and have been through this before, they know exactly how to do this. The term would be, we got this. But for those who are new to that situation, obviously it causes them a lot of stress and they have a lot of unknowns. And, the better that we can, make sure that they're comfortable where they are and know what to do, the better that we could. And then one other comment. I made a trip down into Richmond this morning early, and the Majestic is still holding in its place, but the excavator is underwater.
Commissioner Painter, if I could just add something here. Having been in Pierce Township and been through several of the floods, worked with Pam in the past before, people too can always call their local fire department. They're out monitoring all of these roads constantly during an episode like this. And if they have a question, if they're new to the area, they would be able to inform them what's
Great.
happened in the past. So
That's great.
And Greg and Tom, I'm sure you're going to have Mike Bamer do our postings for us, so on social media to help out too, Pam. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you do.
Thanks, Pam.
Good morning to you.
Well, that's a good segue into our next group, our GIS group. People don't realize that we have an outstanding GIS team, and we have outstanding GIS data. And what you're seeing today with the road closures and the flooding information is just a part of it. We have Mike McNamara, John Cascaden, and Kelly Perry here to talk about an incident that happened, I think, a couple weeks ago, where the GIS helped first responders. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Morning, Mike.
Thank you, Commissioners. Michael McNamara, Community and Economic Development. Thank you for taking the time to have us here today. And I just want to say, there's a lot of things that we do that are visible to the public when they use our mapping portal on the web or request maps from us. They visit Permit Central for permits and inspections or see a large employer building a facility in the county. And other things that we do, they see how we're serving the public. But there's a lot of things that we do that are invisible to the public. And a recent incident came across my desk that helps to illustrate some of the value that we bring behind the scenes. Our 911 system works together with our GIS division within Community and Economic Development on certain issues. And so John Cascaden and Kelly Perry are here, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about that. The bottom line is that our behind the scenes work at Public Safety Services and in our GIS division mean a big difference when somebody is in distress. So with that, I'd like to introduce John Cascaden from Public Safety Services.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, John.
Cascaden, Director of Department of Public Safety Services. Before we get into the actual event that Mike was referring to, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the GIS department. They work in unison with our CAD administrator, Dominic Dalton, and our project manager, Jesse Wiederhold, to make sure that all our 911 addressing is current and up to date with the phone companies. They also work in unison to make sure that our mapping is up to date, especially in the dispatch center. And they also work with Ohio Marks to make sure that our mapping is updated for the first responders for their mobile data computers. Addressing location is key. If you don't know where people are at, you can't help them. And the longer it takes you to find them, it can be critical, it can even be life-threatening. The event we're talking about today happened on February 20th at 11:44 a.m. at an elderly male on the path at the Sycamore Park, more than several hundred yards off the parking lot area on a trail, became distressed and breathing, was unable to make it back to the vehicle, dialed in 911. The information came up with the latitude and longitude. We're able to use the tools in our toolbox to locate the individual rapidly, but I want to talk briefly about those tools. One of those tools is GIS went in and they put some address points on these trails for us, and I'll let Kelly talk to that momentarily in detail. But without these tools in the toolbox, the dispatcher has a hard time doing their job. And this time everything worked correctly. The dispatcher got the call. They were able to use the address points to narrow down where the distressed individual was. From the time we received the call until the patient contact was 10 minutes, and that's pretty darn good. And in this case, everything turned out okay for everyone. But again, without the tools in the toolbox, we can't do our job. And for that, we thank GIS for all they do. Kelly, if you want to go into a little more detail on the event itself, please.
Sure. Sure. Good morning. I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you all a picture of what was happening. What you see here is on the left, the map with the blue background. That's what the dispatcher sees. The screen on the right is what the responders see. They see a little bit less information. So in my mind, the dispatcher in this case was fantastic in knowing that they could attach the call. They have to attach the call to the closest verifiable point in our GIS or in their mapping. And you can see I've added some call outs. The call out in blue that says address point, we're talking about the blue map here. That's where, if we hadn't had river miles in our GIS and in the CAD system, they would have had to have attached the call to that. You can see the other blue call out that says closest river mile. That is where the dispatcher actually attached the call to, because they realized that this caller, wasn't in the main part of the park by the entrance. They were down that trail. If you look at that red arrow, that is the little blue dot right above that arrow. That is physically where the patient was when he called. And so the dispatcher realized that if they attached the call to the address point, then responders were still going to have to kind of figure out where he was and how far along that trail he was. I mean, they could have been told that he was along that trail, but without having that point of where his cell phone pinged, they would have a more difficult time. So I'll give you a little history about the river mile markers themselves. Because prior to river miles being in there, as I said, the call would have had to have been attached to the address point. But what happened was last January of 2020, Joe Stoffolano with Central Joint Fire and EMS had contacted us and asked us if we could get river miles into our system. And at the time, he said it was because they were wanting to practice some swift water rescue. And at the time, we were shorthanded. It was just myself and Chris Bossel here in GIS. And the beauty of all this is really the extended cooperation we got from so many individuals, because it was just Chris and I at this point. And Chris works daily with Dominic and Jesse to get address points as well as common places into that CAD system. But we really didn't have the time to go out and digitize river miles. I was able to go out on, I believe it was USGS website, and find some old quad maps that physically had river miles handwritten onto those, and I was able to overlay those on the mapping. But it was not a point that a CAD call could have been attached to. So I asked Bill Melman, he's with Water Resources, if he had any such knowledge of river mile points, or if he could by chance digitize those for us. And he did a little digging, and he couldn't find the actual data, but he did also realize that Clermont Soil and Water were utilizing an intern from Miami University at the time. And so he approached that gentleman and asked them if they would be interested in digitizing these river miles for us. So Emmanuel, thank you, Emmanuel, if you're watching today, did all this digitizing for us. When that was all over, Bill Melman kind of scrubbed those a little bit, and then he sent them over to us, at which point Chris Bossel got those points added into the CAD mapping, got those all prepared to go into the CAD. And the cooperation even goes further than that, because as you all are aware, we're on the statewide 911 system, and we do quarterly updates with them. And ironically, our update had happened literally the day before we had these points. And we knew we wanted to get them in soon. We didn't want to wait till the next quarterly update. So we even, Chris reached out to Rob Goebel, our contact at the state, and explained to him that, hey, look, we've done all this, gotten all this stuff together. We've gotten these river miles in there. We'd really like to get them on the map this quarter. And he made an exception, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but he made an exception and went ahead and got those into the map right then and there. So then, fast forward a couple weeks ago was when Joe Staffolano with Central Joint contacted us and explained, what had happened with this particular incident, and thanked us profusely for having those river miles in there. And lastly, I'd like to add that even since then, my comment was, well, wow, the river miles were great, but it would be even greater if we were to have some of the trail markers that are along that trail in the GIS and into the CAD system. So since then, I've reached out to Chris Klingman, and we are working on getting even more details added in there. So that's what I've got. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Commissioners, I'd like to point out, you see two different screens there, one for first responder and one for dispatch. And the reason there's a difference in the screens is because in the dispatch center, we have these robust desktop computers that have, a lot of brain power, and the first responders there have these ruggedized laptops in their vehicles, and they don't have the horsepower that these desktops have. So we have to minimize some of the things on their screen so that we're not using up all the resources for mapping. And that's why you see the difference in the mapping.
Thank you, John. Anything else on this morning on that?
No, that's it. It just goes to show the importance of things that happen behind the scenes.
Very
that
much.
have a much larger impact. Who would think that mapping out trails would one day lead to someone being serviced by first responders? So,
Great job, all of you. Thank you very much.
John, before you leave, just touch base on, everyone is familiar with how important it is to be able to locate people who are in distress. And I don't think there's anybody listening that, doesn't understand the tragedy and the challenge that happened some time ago in Hamilton County with locating an individual. Just touch on a second, how we're equipped as far as being able to locate someone by cell phone.
Well, and as I briefly touched on it earlier, it's all about the technology you have available now. With smartphones and all the things that occur in technology, 911 is very much behind. A couple of things we've done to get away from that, we're still doing triangulation on cell towers. We've implemented 2 years ago a system called Rapid SOS. And what Rapid SOS does is it bypasses the triangulation of the towers. And what it does is it goes directly to your cell phone, and it takes the GIS and GPS information off of your cell phone, giving us an exact location within 50 feet of where you're at. Every phone manufactured after 2018, you cannot turn that function on. That you cannot disable it. So if you dial 911, it unlocks all the function on your phone, and that information comes into us, and it's displayed on our Rapid SOS. And we get that almost instantaneously compared to 15 or 20 seconds to get phase 2 information from the 911 system. So we've kind of bypassed the antiquated 911 triangulation to make these things happen a little faster. And we don't ever want to have an incident like it's happened to some of the communication centers in the past. As I stated earlier, location is the key. Without knowing where you're at, I cannot help you. And that's one reason we have not implemented text to 911 in Clermont County. The current text to 911 system does not give you location information. And until that happens, we will not move forward with text to 911 in Clermont County.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that.
Is Julian with us this morning or not?
We're checking on.
All right,
She was trying to. She had a meeting this morning.
she had a meeting? Okay,
She said she tried to tune in at some point, so we're going to keep checking throughout the meeting.
that's fine.
She is, we'll let you know.
Great, thank you.
She's not on yet.
All right.
Okay.
We finished the members' comments so far this morning. Let us move on to the consent agenda. Board, you've had the consent agenda prepared for you in advance, had an opportunity to review it. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. On page 5, number 15 is our non-consent agenda. We're moving to that now. Item number 15 is a recommendation of the Board of County Commissioners to adopt resolution number 030-21, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the revised total amount of $1,686,466.73 is set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated March the 3rd, 2021, BCC directed prepaid invoice reports and/or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on March the 1st, 2021, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for the same pursuant to Section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item number 16, Job and Family Services. Connie Tibby, are you with us this morning?
I am. Good morning. Connie Tibby, the Department of Job and Family Services. Item number 16 is the recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Timothy Dick, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, to execute an Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Title 4E Child Placement Agreement and addendum thereto, consisting of amendments numbers 1 through 3, by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and SJO Kids Incorporating, doing business as St. Joseph Orphanage, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of residential treatment services for a specific child referred by the Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rate of $422.67 per day, effective March the 1st of 2021 through February 28th of 2022, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 910-00, dated February 10th, 2021.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to execute Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Title 4E Child Placement Agreement addendum thereto, which is the amendment numbers of 1 through 3 by and between Clermont County, Ohio, and SJO Kids doing business as St. Joseph Orphanage for the provision of residential treatment services for a specific child, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 0000910-00, dated 2/10/2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item number 17, Connie.
Recommendation of Timothy Dick, the Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a 4D contract by and between the Department of Job and Family Services Child Support Enforcement Division and the Clermont County Clerk of Common Pleas Court, Batavia, Ohio, for the provision of services on behalf of the Department of Job and Family Services Child Support Enforcement Division, including filing, docketing, recording, issuing service, and issuing notice of service, at the rate of $54.17 per unit, for a total of 1,465 units, for a total amount not to exceed $79,354.88, effective April the 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 1432-00 dated February 18th, 2021.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to execute the 4D contract with the Clermont County Clerk of Common Pleas Court with Job and Family Services for the provision of services on behalf of the Department of Job and Family Services Child Support Enforcement Division, including filing, docketing, recording, issuing service, and issuing notice of service, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition 1432-00 dated February 18, 2021. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 18.
Recommendation of Thomas J. Igel, County Administrator, to authorize Timothy Dick, the Director of Department of Job and Family Services, to execute an Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Title IV Child Placement Agreement and addendum thereto, consisting of amendment numbers 1 through 3, by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Journey Home Foster Care out of Zanesville, Ohio, for the provision of foster care services and independent living services for children referred by the Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates outlined therein. It's effective for the period of March the 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2022, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 465-00 dated February 2nd, 2021.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to execute an Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Title IV Child Placement Agreement and addendum thereto with Journey Home Foster Care for the provision of foster care services and independent living services, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 465-00 dated 2/2/2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 19.
Recommendation of Thomas J. Igel, County Administrator, to assign authority to Timothy Dick, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, to serve as the Board of Clermont County Commissioners designee, thereby granting authority to sign and to execute the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Inter-County Agreement and Certification Release and Acceptance of Funds, effective 1/1 of 21 through December 31st of 21, pursuant to Rule 5101-9-6-A2 of the Ohio Administrative Code, and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Board, you've heard the reading to assign authority to Timothy Dick, the Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, to serve as the Board of Clermont County Commissioners designee, thereby granting authority to sign and execute the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services Inter-County Agreement and Certification Release and Acceptance of Funds, effective 1/1/21 until 12/31/21, pursuant to Rule 5101-9-6-82 of the Ohio Administrative Code, and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 20, Clermont County Sheriff's Department. Morning. Is he muted?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're muted. You gotta,
Commissioners, he texted me, he's having trouble hearing you.
There he is. You there?
I think I'm on.
you're on.
You are?
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, so, welcome. Okay, so it's a recommendation of Joseph Mooney, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, with concurrence of Thomas J. Igel, County Administrator, to acknowledge the electronic submittal of a grant application on or about February 11th, 2021 for funding through the State of Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services, 1970 West Broad Street, Columbus, Ohio, relative to the Recovery Ohio 2020 grant program for the project entitled Clermont County Drug Unit, to be implemented by the county sheriff in the amount of $72,293.84, with a local cash match required in the amount of $24,097.96 to be allocated from the 2021 annual appropriation for the county sheriff and/or to be provided by the county sheriff from the Narcotics Law Enforcement Trust Fund 2503 for a total project budget of an amount of $96,391.80 for a period of time from 10/1/2020 through 9/30/2021, and to authorize Claire Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to act as the sub-grantee, therefore pursuant to and in compliance with terms and conditions set forth therein.
Board, you heard the reading of the recommendation to acknowledge the electronic submittal of a grant application on or before February 11, 2021 for funding through the State of Ohio and the Department of Office of Criminal Justice Services relative to the Recovery Ohio 2020 grant program for the project entitled Clermont County Drug Unit. And this is for a total project budget of $96,391.80, but it's in the amount of $72,293.84, and with the cash match required in the amount of $24,097.96 to be allocated from the 2021 annual appropriation for the County Sheriff's Department and or provided by the County Sheriff from the Narcotics Law Enforcement Trust Fund 2503. And this is for the period of 10/1/2020 through 9/30/2021, and to authorize Claire Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to act as a sub-grantee therefore. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you. Good morning. Item number 21. Do we have Clerk of Courts this morning?
On the recommendation of Barbara A. Wiedenbein, Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute the retail lease agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Tobin Ltd. at 541 Buttermilk Pike, Suite 104, Crescent Springs, Kentucky 41017, for the lease of office of space located at the Milford Shopping Center, 1011 Lila Avenue, store number 1011, Milford, Ohio 45150, to the Milford Auto Title Division of the Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts at the rate of $1,261.21 per month, plus an estimated operating cost of $302.25 per month, for a total amount not to exceed $36,443.04, effective for the period of August 1st, 2021 through July 31st of 2023, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release of the purchase order required, therefore in concert with requisition number 1485-00, dated February 19th, 2021, relative thereto.
You've heard the recommendation of Barbara A. Wiedenbein, Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts. And this is to execute the retail lease agreement with Tobin Ltd. for the lease of office space located at the Milford Shopping Center for the Milford Auto Title Division of the Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts for $302.25 per month, for a total amount not to exceed $36,443.04, effective for the period of 8/1/2021 through 7/31/2023, pursuant in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the release of the purchase order required, therefore in concert with the requisition number 1485-00, dated 2/19/2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item 22, Water Department. Good morning, Lyle.
Good morning. I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Clermont County Water Resources Department. And item 22 is a recommendation to execute the Clermont County Water Resources Department extension of contract for lawn mowing and lawn maintenance between Clermont County and Tyndall's Lawn and Landscape out of Batavia, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on April 1st, 2020. This is to exercise the second and final option to extend for an additional one-year period, effective April 2nd, 2021 through April 1st, 2022, pursuant to and in compliance with Article 8 of the reference contract, with all other terms and conditions to remain in full force and effect, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order. So this, as the motion mentioned, was bid last year. It did offer a one-year extension. This is just for our water treatment plant properties and our water towers. At the same time we bid that, we also bid for our wastewater properties, which included 15 sites, and other county properties that the facilities maintenance and Wade Grabowski maintained, that included 14 sites. The contractor that was the low bidder and had the contract for wastewater and the other county properties was not able to renew the contract this year. So currently Wade and I are in the process of trying to find a local landscape company that's available to perform the lawn maintenance on those facilities.
Thank you for the update on that. There's a recommendation of Lyle Bloom with the Director of Utilities, Clermont County Water Resources Department, to execute the Clermont County Water Resources Department extension of the contract for lawn mowing and lawn maintenance between the Clermont County, Ohio, and Tyndall's Lawn and Landscape, to exercise the second and final option to extend for an additional period of 1 year, effective 4/2/2021 through 4/1/2022, and contingent upon the release of the purchase order required, therefore in concert with requisition number 1376-00, dated 2/17/2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item number 23.
Item 23 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 031-21, resolving to amend the rules and regulations of the Clermont County Water Resources Department to revise Schedule 3 entitled Other Fees and Charges in and as it relates to the fees associated with plan review, inspection, and application fees, with all existing provisions in conflict herewith be and the same are hereby repealed effective May 1st, 2021. And this is pursuant to section 6103.02 and 6117.02 of the Ohio Revised Code. So the last time these fees were updated was in 2004. Since then, our fees for plan review have been 35 cents per lineal foot for water and sewer. With this revision, those fees will increase to 45 cents per lineal foot. The inspection fees have been 95 cents per lineal foot for water and $1.95 per lineal foot for sewer. With this revision, the water inspection fees will increase to $1.25 per lineal foot, and the sewer inspection fees will increase to $2.50 per lineal foot. And the reason why the sewer inspection fees are more is that it includes our cost to go out and do closed circuit televising with our crews in order to release the maintenance bond. And this is all associated with subdivisions and developments where they extend public water and sewer infrastructure. And then the last change is for the application fee. Currently we charge a $25 application fee if a homeowner moves out and a new person moves in. We historically have had to send someone out to do a final read on the meter and then we do updates in our customer service database to update the customer account information. With this revision, we're going to eliminate that application fee. With our advanced metering infrastructure, we no longer have to send anyone out to actually do a final read on the meter. We were able to pull that up on our screen and get a read instantaneously. So we're recommending to just eliminate that fee entirely.
Board, you've heard the reading of a motion to adopt the resolution number 031-21, resolving to amend the rules and regulations of the Clermont County Water Resources Department and to revise Schedule 3 entitled Other Fees and Charges. And as was just explained to us, these fees associated with the plan review, inspection, and application fees. And this will become part of and will not be in conflict with, is hereby repealed effective May the 1st, 2021, pursuant to Section 6103.02 and 6117.02 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you, Lyle. Item number 24, Engineer Department.
Good morning, Board. Suki Sheets with the County Engineer. Item 24 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Aeromark Company out of Streetsboro, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the Board on June 10th. This is relative to the 2020 pavement working project that was in various townships. The change order represents a decrease in the amount of $2,919.78 for a total adjusted contract price of $129,232.07. And also to accept the contract as complete as of August 21st, 2020, and to authorize the Ohio Department of Transportation to remit payment number 2, which is the final payment representing the release of the retainage in the amount of $5,169.28.
Board, you've heard the request of Suki Sheets of the Engineers Department to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Aeromark Company LLC, and this is previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 6/10/2020 for project number 111649 relative to the 2020 pavement marking project located in various townships. It is a decrease in the amount of $2,919.78 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $129,232.07, and for the additions and deletions and or modifications and is defined herein, and to accept the contract as complete as of 8/21/2020, and 3, to authorize the Ohio Department of Transportation to remit payment number 2 final, which represents release of retainage in the amount of $5,169.28. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you, Suki. Item number 25, Taylor Corbett.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
Morning. Recommendations to reappoint the following individuals to serve on the Clermont County Planning Commission for the terms outlined below pursuant of section 713.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Dwayne Boso, which is a home rule appointment. He will be from March 31st, 2021 through March 30th through 2024. This is his second full term. Dwayne Phelps, an at-large appointment from March 31st, 2021 through March 30th, 2024, which is again his second full term. And Timothy Wood, an at-large appointment March 31st, 2021 through March 30th, 2024, his second full term.
Board, you've heard the reading by Taylor Corbett of the Clermont County Planning Commission for the appointment of individuals and the defined terms therein. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 26.
Item number 26 came to us on Thursday, February 4th. A 2021 petition for annexation was filed under the expedited Ohio Revised Code section 709.023 for 62.8313 acres of land owned by Mary H. Griever. This is to the Village of New Richmond. Subsequent to the filing, the board has 25 days to grant or deny the petition. We have received all the documentation, which has been forwarded to the prosecuting attorney's office. I believe they're here today. To my knowledge, the prosecutor's office has communicated their opinion to each of the board members. A draft motion as well as resolution number 032-21 have been prepared for your consideration today. Prosecutor would probably like to say something to the board about this.
Good morning.
Morning, Joe.
Actually, don't have much to say. If there's any questions, I'm glad to answer them, but just for the record, this was consented to by the village and Ohio Township. So we spoke with our solicitor and counsel during this process, and that's what was relayed to us. So unless there's any questions, you may proceed.
None.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the motion is the Board of County Commissioners, resolution number 032-21, resolution granting annexation of 62.8313 acres from Ohio Township to the Village of New Richmond, Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to Section 709.023 of the Ohio Revised Code. Pursuant to that section, the Board of County Commissioners adopts Resolution 032.21 to grant the petition for annexation of 62.8313 acres situated within Ohio Township to the Village of New Richmond, Clermont County, Ohio. It was filed in the office of the Board of County Commissioners on Thursday, February 4th, 2021 at 2:03 p.m. by Anna Butcher for and on behalf of Stephen R. Hunt, Aronoff, Rosen and Hunt, U.S. Bank Tower, 425 Walnut Street, Suite 220, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. They are the designated agent for the petitioner, Mary Griever, of 1260 U.S. 52, New Richmond, Ohio, 45157. Ms. Griever is the sole owner of the real estate, and this is all defined by ORC Section 709.02E and is sought to be annexed.
Mr. Bickford, at this time, this is under item number 26. We don't have to do this as a proposed add-on. Is that correct?
You would have to do this as a proposed add-on for the resolution.
I do have to add it. Okay, then I would like a motion, please, to add this proposed and resolution number 032-21, granting annexation of 62.8313 acres from Ohio Township to the Village of New Richmond, Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to Section 709.023 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to add this to our agenda this morning?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. So now, item number 26 is pursuant to Section 709.023D of the Ohio Revised Code. The Clermont County Board of Commissioners adopts resolution number 032-21, resolving to grant the petition of annexation of 62.8313 acres of land situated within Ohio Township to the Village of New Richmond, Clermont County, Ohio, filed in the office of the Board of County Commissioners on Thursday, February 4th, 2021 at 2:03 p.m. by Anna Butcher, for and on behalf of Stephen R. Hunt, Aronoff, Rosen and Hunt, U.S. Bank Tower, 425 Walnut Street, Suite 2200, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. The designated agent for the petitioner, Mary H. Griever, 1260 U.S. 52, New Richmond, Ohio, 45157, who's the sole owner of the real estate, is defined by the Ohio Revised Code Section 709.02E, sought to be annexed. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 27. Good morning, Mary.
Morning.
Mary Rings from OMB. This item is request to increase the 2021 annual appropriations for the general fund for the Sheriff's Administration for a retirement payout of $25,350.
Board, you've heard of Mary Raines from the Director of Office Management Budget to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 191.20 for the calendar year 2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Any additions for us this morning, Mary?
No, not at this point. We haven't had any other updates to give you at this time.
Great, thank you very much. Now we're moving on to any other additions to the agenda this morning.
Yeah, one that you'd would like you to consider. It's a motion to go into executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G4 of the Ohio Revised Code to prepare for, conduct, or review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation and/or other terms and conditions of their employment, in addition to what's already on your agenda.
Board, can I have a motion to add to our executive session today pursuant to section 121.22 G4 of the Ohio Revised Code, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Do I have a motion to add this to our executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Now we're moving to item F, and this is going to be a motion to go into executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G1, G3, and we're also adding, this is of the Ohio Revised Code, and we're also adding 121.22 G4 of the Ohio Revised Code. Number one, to consider the employment or compensation of one or more public employees. Number two, to confer with prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation respectively. And also for preparing for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, we will resume after executive session. Thank you very much. We have returned from executive session and we'll proceed with the rest of our meeting this morning. We're at item G, county staff, elected official.
Done?
Known? Okay. Elected officials, any discussions this morning?
I think
Nothing.
we've covered it.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Oh, let's continue. No, I second.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Batchelor. Obviously, there's no more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, thank you for joining us today, and take care of your loved ones.